I said we were going to get 5 tonight. We got 5, but I didn't expect it to be spread around both teams. We made that hard work. We made it a lot harder than what it should have been. Omonia, I've just been speaking to Ricky now on his fan vlog, and Ricky nailed it in terms of where would they be in terms of an English team? Where would they fit in the English pyramid in terms of football? I think they'd be talking down there close to non-league League Two sort of standard. Manchester United should have absolutely battered Omonia tonight. And 28 shots, 75% possession, over 700 passes. You'd expect a lot more. We hit the bar, we hit the post. It seemed to be trying to lay it on a plate for Ronaldo night. I mean, Ronaldo's effort and work rate was decent enough. He was getting in decent positions tonight, but he just looked like a lost figure towards the end there. Everyone was searching for him a goal. And it got to a stage later in that second half where the likes of Rashford and Martial tried to pass the ball when we should have been shooting just for the sake of trying to get Ronaldo a goal. It was 3-2. It was a close game. It didn't need to be close, but little decisions like that, I think, are getting in the way. And I think that's the balancing act that we've got right now in terms of when playing Ronaldo. He is that figure, and everyone wants to see Ronaldo score, and we want to see him get that goal number 700. It's great, but not at the expense of making a wrong decision and probably costing us in a game, which it almost did. I mean, every time Omonia went forward, it looked like they were going to score. It's one of them, wasn't it? I tweeted it out. I said, one shot, one goal syndrome's back at Manchester United again. And it was like that. I mean, how we went in 1-0 down at half time, it just beggars belief. The passing, I thought, and from what I'm talking and people, I'm seeing everyone giving their opinions after this game. I mean, I thought the passing was quicker. I thought the intent was good. I thought we were just incredibly wasteful again. And that's why I put 5-0 down. This is a team that's got 1 win in 26 European competition appearances. Manchester United should have been burying them 5-0. I mean, it should have been about 4-0 at half time. We should have had about 7. Ronaldo should have had an hat-trick. Rashford should have had an hat-trick. Martial should have had at least a brace. I mean, decision-making in the final third, we can sort of criticise that. But in the end, I think the winner in that game, I think Ten Hag literally got us over the line in that game. He really did. I thought Ten Hag's in-game management worked for us. I've just been talking to Ricky, and yeah, the Casemiro substitution was a weird one. I didn't even think about that until Rick brought it up. But Casemiro coming off, I didn't understand it unless he's just saving him for a weekend against Everton. I thought he should have played his first 90 minutes. But I understood why Malacia and Sancho came off, both at fault for the goal, both wrong decisions. And in games like that, they can cost you big time. And I think Ten Hag has just said, "Not, I've had enough of this. We've got players on the bench that can come off and do a job just as good, if not better." And they did it in the second half. You're coming off. I'm not accepting these mistakes. You know how I want you to play. You've done that when we were in complete control of the game. Yeah, it was still 0-0, but they were offering no threat until we gifted them the goal. And that was enough for Ten Hag. And I thought that substitution with Luke Shaw for Malacia and Rashford for Sancho pretty much turned the game instantly. Rashford was a different person from what was playing against Manchester City at weekend. Lesser opposition, and you could say it's easier to do that and be a bit more braver on the ball when you're playing weaker teams. But Rashford scoring 2 off the bench, should have had an hat-trick. Unselfishly tried to lay in Ronaldo, like I just said, which was a waste. He should have really just gone for that. And really, you know what? Made up, well, not so much made up. It's going to take a lot more than that for the performance that he put in against City. And like I said, it was against Omonia, which is a poor outfit. But still, if he'd have come off with a second half hat-trick, you can't really fault that. And I can't fault Rashford's performance in the second half either. I thought he was superb and playing in his position and one and only position that he can play in this team, from the left. And his link-up with Martial was absolutely superb. And them two and their chemistry, and I've said it all along, I've done numerous videos saying how good Rashford and Martial are when they play together. When they're together, they're a different kettle of fish. They both feed off each other. Martial needs to be in the middle. Rashford needs to be on the left. I believe at weekend against Everton that it will be Anthony on the right, it will be Rashford on the left, and it will be Martial in the middle with Bruno behind. I think that is what Ten Hag wants. Sancho started in pre-season on the right. Rashford left, Martial middle. Sancho's been forced out to the left, and Ricky was making the point there saying he's feeling sorry for him because he's better on the right. I've always said Sancho is 20 times better on the right, and that's why we brought him. But Anthony is in now, and Anthony's made an okay start. He's showing signs. He needs a bit more time, but I think Antony is going to be Ten Hag's number one on the right, which leaves Sancho now surplus because Rashford is really doing it on the left-hand side. 5 goals this season now from the left. Martial's got 3 and 2 since coming back. And his all-around contributions for Rashford and Martial are going to leave Sancho on the bench, I'm sure of it. And Sancho is going to have to fight now. He's going to have to fight Antony, I think. And possibly Rashford as well, either side. Alanga's not even getting a look in. You could say it's a good problem to have, but you've got quality players there that we can't manage to fit into this team. Yes, Ten Hag is dealing with other managers' players like managers before him. It's like a conveyor belt for each manager. You have to deal with what's there before. Ronaldo's a part of that. He huffed, he puffed, hit the post. He was wasteful. He just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. He got in positions. It was probably an all right, decent performance for me from Ronaldo tonight, but ultimately, he failed to score again against the poor outfit. He should have had a hat-trick. He really should. Thought it was wasteful in front of goal. I can't believe he stuck his foot up in the first half and didn't go in with his head. Maybe that knocker that he had for Portugal playing on his mind in terms of putting his head on the line. I mean, at his age, I'm not saying he's not going to do it, but you got to think why he didn't go with his head and get that goal. And I think one goal in the first half there would have finished Omonia off. I think we were absolutely all over him. The percentage of possession and territorially, we were absolutely battering them. We're just very wasteful. And I think then when Martial came on, the Ten Hag substitution for Martial, right in at number 10 for Bruno, which is another interesting sub. Obviously, Bruno off, I think maybe being rested for weekend as well. Martial can play at 10, and I have liked him there before. So there is an option there if he does want to play Ronaldo and play Martial in that role. Whether or not Martial will have the energy that Bruno has in tracing back may change the mind. But if there was a game that he probably wanted to control at Ten Hag, then Martial is an option there. And Ronaldo can be more of a target man. It is there. And in smaller games, I won't say smaller games, but games like that, don't be surprised to maybe see that at home against Omonia next week. Maybe Bruno sits out and has a rest and Martial comes in. He needs game time. If Ronaldo wants to play again, it's there for Ten Hag to play with. We'll see how he mixes it up. But it's a good problem to have that we've got so many forwards and we can't even get Elanga on the pitch at the moment. So when you look at it that way, you got to say, yes, this is good. I think this is where we want to be. We want to have options. I mean, what's that now? We scored 3. Yeah, albeit second half, City foot off the gas at weekend. We've got another 3 tonight. We should have had 5 or 6, to be honest. But ultimately, the vibe coming out of that was we just made too much hard work of that. It should have been a lot simpler. And bigger fish are going to come and fry us if that is the case, if we play like that. Pretty much like City did. I expect the weekend game against Everton now to be a bit more a la Leicester, Southampton sort of performance. More solid, dug in, sort of not giving anything away. We've been very, very open. And that game tonight, it went from end to end at the latter stages there. It didn't need to be end to end. It was like we just went out and we were making a point that we were going to get Ronaldo to score this goal. It was like, let's not forget the day job. Let's not forget the result and get it in the bag and get out of there. And I've done it, and we're all going to forget about it now because we move on 6 points. I've not even seen the other game's result actually yet. But that was 0-0 at half-time. If Sheriff did manage to sneak us a point there, then we're looking in good shape going in. Omonia next week will win that one, and that pretty much seals us in there, I think. We're pretty comfortable there, tucked in for qualification. Then it will just come down to top spot, and if we have to play that extra round of 32 game, if we get second in this group. But let's just put games to bed, please. Please, United. It's like biting teeth every single game when we're in front. I will say this, that's the first game this season that we've actually managed to go behind and come back and win under Ten Hag. Every other game this season that we've gone behind in, even in the Europa League, we've lost. So we're continuing going forward. It's very consistent. No draws this season at all. So we're looking at 10 games in. It's either a win or a draw. It's everything or bust, isn't it? It's the way we're going at the moment. But when you look at it, when you break it down, they're a poor outfit, Omonia. Like I said, 1 win in 26. That's 1 win in 27 for them now. We should have been putting that team to bed a lot sooner than what we did. But we got the win. We're flying back. 2 long haul trips away from home in Europe, out of the way. And really now pretty much putting this group to bed. Another couple of own games now against Omonia and Sheriff, which I think we will do, which will put us on 12 points, signed, sealed and delivered. Europa League to bed. Move on to bigger fish, which is when we come back from the World Cup. That will be back to the Premier League and the knockout stages. But guys, let me know what you think. Drop your comments in below. Who stood out for you tonight? Was it Ten Hag, like I said, that changed that game? Substitutes won it for us there tonight. Cheers for watching, everyone. I'll be over on the fan forum very shortly. Come join us there. See you later.